could, as they're coming in, are they going to hit? And what I've heard that works, and I'm curious if anyone's tried this, you take fishing line and don't put it where it's going to sag and close on yourself. Protect yourself, or get a tall cousin. If you don't like them, okay. But run a fishing line, let's say, 10 feet up in the air, and every 10 feet, tie a little knot. You know what surveyor's tape is? Take, a foot or so piece of surveyor's tape, tie the fishing line around it, tie the surveyor's tape, because they just fall apart. And have that kind of around your yard, kind of this weird net of flapping surveyor's tape.
I used to be a surveyor, and I did that because somebody in this group, maybe somebody on the internet, was having hawk problems. I saw a hawk almost get one of my chickens, so I tried that, and I haven't seen a hawk in the yard since.
Yeah. So what happens is that the hawks see this thing flapping in the middle of the air, and they don't know what's holding it there. So they're like, hang on, there's obviously something there. I'm not going to risk injury to myself for one move on. The biggest thing with predators, and this might be a cruel thing, I hope none of you are real close neighbors, is if you make your birds harder to eat than your neighbor's birds, predators go there. And you want to keep pushing them to the other neighbors.
Yeah, I put the fishing line in. There are just a few holes in trees where the hawks could even get into my yard. So I pretty much just covered up the holes so that they can't, there's no place that they have that's open.
How far apart would they have to be for them not to be able to get that swoop in them?
Well, I just kind of used my judgment and, made it look like they couldn't, there's not enough space for them to fly in through the.
So you're talking 5 feet or so.
Yeah, I put the one big hole in my yard. I have a couple of strands of fishing line about 8 or 10 feet apart. And then there's another hole in another corner where I just have one strand of fishing line that pretty much covers any possibility of somebody getting in there.
Very good for your yard. I'm sorry.
It really works because down at the coast, if you ever go down to Corpus and you go eat Snoopy's out there at Flower Bluff, they have that out on the deck, and the gulls will leave you alone. And it works like a charm.
Pretty dangerous.
And they just run PVC on what you could attach to the fence.
Yeah. Very cheap, inexpensive, and there's just kind of like zigzag with another zigzag going up, just kind of X across the thing. And it's a very big deck, and the gulls will just sit over there and watch. Go eat French fries.
Yeah, great question. Other questions? This is a great discussion. I want to move on time to this.
I was wondering if you have to dust the birds with anything for I've heard they could get lights or something, bird lights or.
Yeah, the birds they'll get mites. And that's a good topic for next month is the health discussions.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people will dust their birds, and other people will think that's poison.
I have some diatomaceous earth that I kind of sprinkle on them, and when they're out, they'll do a dust bath. But
A little diatomaceous earth in the dust bath as well.
what would you make a dust bath out of, like in a coop? I was thinking like a covered cat pan and putting sand and diatomaceous earth in there. Would that be a dust bath?
Anytime I've ever tried to create a dust bath, they're like gross. So I don't know if anyone has a better opinion on how to make dust. No, actually, I take that back. One I did about a year ago. They started using it a couple months ago. So plan ahead. But other suggestions on how to make a dirt bath, or dust
Another
bath.
question. Throw away. Snapdragons and frogs.
Throw away.